Hi! Hi and welcome to tonight's little video featuring the Instagram queen, the one we have seen so much. Too much? Too much, right? You're getting tired of all the fame and the fortune that she's getting from just showing her precious face on my Instagram account. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Here we are, and I'm making a very impulsive vlog where I'm just once again throwing out some facts about me and making another get to know me style video because my recording studio is currently not working perfectly. I'm getting it back. I know how to do it now. I know what I need to fix so I can get back into making songs, but this is just a video I thought I would make in between. Just kind of like throwing out some sort of like facts and things about me just randomly. People have already given me, I know I can do whatever I want. That's the weird thing about this channel. Like, I wanna, you know, just be a creative person and share my two greatest loves, which are music and writing, literature, poetry, singing, country music, and everything fun that I love. But why not every once in a while make a little chatty video where I talk and people can get to know me. She is biting me, so I'm just gonna let her down. She looks funny. I have already made these. I made a few ones, and maybe some of those things are still true or relevant or whatever. But I'm just gonna get into it. It's no reason. I was just kind of like, why not? People are still kind of getting to know me. Who knows me, to be honest? Does anyone really know me except me? Do I even know me? Will I get to know myself better after this video? Probably. We're just gonna get into it. People have already, like, I feel like people are kind of okay with me making vlogs sometimes. I don't think it's like, it just lands at 50 views, and it does get a little bit of work. It does get a little bit over 100, and that's okay, so I can just keep them up for people to enjoy whenever. I just think they're kind of fun to make, why not? But more facts about me updated. That's the title of this video for no reason. And yeah, I have some other ideas, and I think when I make vlogs and the future stuff that I'm gonna make, monthly favorites maybe, favorite books. I think that's something that I'm going to talk about. You know, backstories for my songs, about certain songs. If I do put out more music on Spotify at some point, when is that going to happen? I don't even know how to do it. I forgot. Like, that was in 2014. I don't know how to put out music. I don't know how we managed to do that, but we did. But yeah, I might do that at some point again. And kind of like productive things you can do, and like I want to make kind of like productive videos, maybe like things you can do if you're bored or something like that. More lookbooks, and just kind of like how to find happiness. I don't think I'm gonna make videos like that. I don't like those. But books, sort of like more fun things like that. But tonight, I'm making more facts about me, and I'm making kind of an updated one. And I'm making one because people are still getting to know me. No one really knows me, or I don't know. What am I trying to say with that? I'm just saying people are still coming in and watching this channel, so I'm just gonna throw out who I am and what I'm all about. And number one is that my favorite genre of music of all time, and this is not a surprise, but I'm just gonna throw it in, is country music. It's the best music. It's what makes me the happiest. It's just the sound of it. And honestly, it's not necessarily what you would hear on the radio if you go on like current sort of country hits or whatever of today. That's not necessarily my favorite music, kind of like beer, trucks. I kind of, honestly, I like a few of I like that a little bit. Why not? But for me, it's mostly this like 1950s sound, the honky-tonk sound, kind of like a stripped-down singer-songwriter, American folk music, acoustic. Yeah, yeah, what people would consider classic country music. I like pop country, rock country, blues country. Yeah, that's just my favorite music. And I could also go in and say that Hank Williams, I have a poster that I cut up way too much on my Instagram, but I just love it so much. Hank Williams is my favorite musician of all time. Favorite artist. I think the reason is because he is just he has this. I would say that I can't talk because I'm so excited when I'm talking about someone that means so much. But he has this poetic simplicity, and I think he is the lyrics are very raw and real, and I like his voice because it's simple, but it's so good. Lovesick Blues, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, Long Gone Blues, so many of those songs are just my favorite songs. Cold, Cold Heart. It's just the first time I really connected to music, I think when I was 13, 14 or whatever. It's just my favorite thing. I don't know, it's just stuck with me, and I like that sound. I like similar artists to him. I have a lot of other country musicians I love. But that would just be my favorite. Just my favorite type of music. Number 3 would be that, yeah, he would be a lyrical influence on me for sure. But mostly sound, I would say, with his style of music. It's more like the sound that is influential than maybe like the lyrics, because lyrically I would say Johnny Mitchell, Bob Dylan would be two big lyrical influences. But other than that, I don't know. I'm, in a way, I take a lot of influences from everywhere, but I try to just find my own style with lyrics and poetry, especially, than to have like one major inspiration. I think it's good to find something from within before you just go and look for external things all the time. Number 4 would be that I love poetry, and that's not a surprise to anyone who has followed me or looked at me on Instagram or seen this channel. I love old and new, 19th century, 20th, 21st century poetry. I love it all. In a way, I do prefer experimental poetry. That's what I write, but I also prefer to read that. That's my favorite. And I think my favorite, if we look at my favorite poets, here we have William Butler Yeats. I would say he's my favorite. Emily Dickinson, as well as I would say if I have to choose favorite poets, and honestly it changes all the time, but I would say in a way it would be Emily Dickinson. This one I've read a lot. Clearly I have all of these flagged notes. And as well as William Butler Yeats is also a favorite poet for sure, and Swedish poet Karin Boye. Yeah. But I would say in a way, when it comes to having favorite movie, favorite song, favorite poet, favorite poet, favorite writer, it changes for me, but I never, in a way, that's why I want to make vlogs where I talk about monthly favorites, because in a way I don't have favorites sometimes. I kind of like a lot of things and I love a lot of things, and I have my favorites and my particular interests, but a part of me doesn't really have a favorite song, favorite poet, favorite musician. I do, but in a way I don't. There's no one I would love to meet, dead person that I would love to meet, or someone that I want to thank because they changed my life or anything. I don't feel that way about people because they're just people or something. I don't know. That has nothing to do with it really, but that's just how I feel. Number five is that I'm not very materialistic. I rarely buy new expensive things, and I like a more, this is kind of weird, but I do like a more working class-ish look rather than like upper middle class look of today, just trends of today or whatever. I don't like the white minimalistic IKEA look. I actually dislike it very much. I kind of like a miscellaneous sort of like wooden look, I guess because of country music, and that would be the style. I don't like to have a particular aesthetic. I don't like to buy a lot of things. I like to kind of invest in what's important to me. It's like guitars and books and notebooks or whatever that I do relating to my interests and hobbies. But other than that, in a way, I am not very materialistic, and I don't like doing things with money at all if I don't have to. And as far as like aesthetics and like fancy looks or whatever, I like kind of, as I said, this sort of miscellaneous random look that still looks very homey and nice, but it's not necessarily tied together with a certain look, like, you know, Japanese fashion look, or I don't know. And not a particular country look either, just me, like stuff that feels like me. I don't like to be a part of something in particular than just my own style, I guess, which isn't particular, but I mean it is. I can be. But as I say, I kind of like a more low-key, homey look that I don't know. I don't like sort of the trends of what a house is supposed to look like and the stuff that you have to have in a brand new expensive car. I don't even think they look really that good. Cars of today. Vintage, I guess, like an old-fashioned look. But still with that, I don't really have a specific era that I'm obsessed with. Maybe 1950s, 60s, around that time, but not in particular either, so yeah. Number 6, I prefer friends I can have fun with and have meaningful conversations with over kind of shallow, on the surface friendships. And maybe that's me and a lot of people, but I prefer the kind of just write that for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of goes, because I talked about shallow, I could go in to say that I kind of like an all-natural look for everyone, natural faces. I do not like tattoos, dyed or colored hair, or piercing. I don't like that look. I kind of prefer, for everyone, boys, girls, no gender, whatever, just natural face, natural look, natural hair. You can have your own style, but I think everyone just kind of looks their best natural. I don't think I've worn makeup since April 2020, maybe. I'm lying, I don't know. But I've kind of dissed a lot of things. I have dyed my hair once or twice when I was like 20, and it never looked good. I just don't pull off makeup or dyed hair, or I never had tattoos, and I never will. I just don't like it and how it looks. Piercings, I guess, like here in the ears, but other than that, I just think everyone looks their best, and just when they're natural. Natural personality, natural physical features, or whatever. I don't think anyone should get plastic surgery. I'm not against anything in particular, but I'm not very much for it either. So yeah. Then I'm not going to say the numbers. I'm just going to go into these facts, and I'm not going to count them, because that's going to be annoying for me when I edit it, and I accidentally say 7 when I already have done number 7 or whatever. So I'm just going into it, and whatever. Yeah, I rarely watch Netflix or television, I think is another one. I do kind of watch cartoons. I'm trying to get into anime, but I don't know if it's my thing. And I would prefer to watch kind of like, I prefer to just, if I'm chilling and I'm not doing anything that I have to do, I prefer to just walk around the house and listen to music instead of watching a film. I prefer to watch movies with my family, or if it's something really, really good or really, really entertaining, then I'm like, oh, I have to watch this, then I will watch it. But other than that, I'm not much of a movie person. I like horror movies. I do love horror movies for some reason, and cartoons. And I don't really have a favorite movie. Maybe The Seventh Seal. It's a Swedish movie. But other than that, I do, if I have a time off or whatever, and I don't want to do anything that has to do with my hobbies, I like to just throw on headphones, go for a walk, or just walk around the house, or sit outside on my porch. That sounds very country. But honestly, yeah, just kind of go with a cup of tea, put on music and headphones, and drink some tea and sit on my porch, and just daydream about something, about a guy, or I don't even know, about some sort of situation for the future. Make up scenarios in my own head, I guess I prefer, than to kind of lie down in bed or sit in front of the TV and watch something. It has to be something really good, or I usually watch with someone else. Or honestly, in a way, I prefer reading over watching movies. So that's another fact about me. Yeah, and as I said, writing and music, my two first loves, poetry, literature, music, folk music and literature and poetry and writing, and I just say it over and over. Those are my two loves in my life that I prefer over anything else, and that doesn't mean that I'm always reading. I want to say that I am a book person, and I am, but I'm kind of like a slow reader. With music, I can also be a slow learner. I take my time with things, but those are two of my passions, and whenever I have time off and I'm not doing schoolwork, that's what I do. Whenever I've had jobs back in the day after high school or whatever, as I came home, I would just sing or write, and same in high school. I would write or I would sing when I came home, and that's what I love to do most of all. Another fact of mine, it says number 11, but I don't know if that's the one we are on. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs, and I never will, which is, yeah, and that's kind of important when it comes to my life. Like, I don't do that, and I have been drinking a little bit, and I'm not against anything, but I think life, it's just from my experience and with the kind of person I am and the way I work and the fact that I'm kind of more introverted, I like to be home, is that life is just better without that kind of stuff. And yeah, smoking is something I've never done. Drugs I will never do. And honestly, I don't like beer. I don't like wine. I don't like vodka. I don't like how any of that tastes, if anything. And I never liked how alcohol makes me feel either, to be honest. If I'm being bluntly honest, of course there has been a part of me that's like, I want to see what that's about and whatever, when last year of high school or whatever. But honestly, I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like it at all. I think a natural and healthy life with good food and water and possibly coffee. Coffee might also, in a way, be considered something that kind of like drugs you. Not necessarily, but I mean it does. But that's as close as it gets for me. Coffee and a smoothie that makes me very happy and healthy. So yeah. And yeah, so I guess that's a fact about me. I live a very healthy lifestyle. That's so not true. I just ate a bag of very salty crisps. I like a unhealthy lifestyle sometimes, but for the most part, I eat oatmeal, I drink green smoothies, and I eat kind of potatoes with chickpeas, salad mixes or whatever. I don't have the most healthy lifestyle on this earth, but I prefer one without alcohol or smoke, or yeah, as I'm trying to say. Wait, they want me to start it over. Okay. We have another fact here. This is, I don't know if I want family or married life. I don't know if I want the kind of like conventional lifestyle, or like, I don't know if I see myself in the sort of traditional housewife housewife role. I don't know if I see myself married or if I have a bunch of kids. I don't know. I think since I'm kind of a late bloomer in this life, maybe that happens around age 35-ish or something like that. But a big part of me likes kind of my loner life, and I always have. I have a very sociable side. I can be very like outgoing if I want to, but a part of me really loves the idea of becoming a hermit and moving far, far into the woods and just having kind of like a little, maybe I grow apples and fruits and things on it, like, I don't know, and I just live by myself and I don't really have too much contact with people. But then there's another part of me that wants like a big family, like a really big family with lots of kids. But that's kind of a fantasy that I go into, and then I realize that that's not me either. So maybe I'm too young to know in a way. But I've just never seen myself. I'm not relationshipy. I don't crave, like, I've never been one to seek out a relationship much. It's been kind of like what has been around and what, you know, high school or whatever. Once I've been in community college or university, it's been whoever's, not whoever, but the people who have been around me or whatever. And if someone has kind of clicked, I kind of dated some people, but in a way, I'm not, I don't know, there's something about me where, like, I don't dislike kids, but a part of me isn't very much interested in that kind of life, and I don't know what that is. I'm still debating if that's for me or whatever, but a part of me really likes, a part of me is like a spoiled only child that has always been on my own a lot, likes it, gets by, is very independent in a way. My dad says to me, the problem with you is that you are kind of too independent sometimes, and you can definitely allow yourself to be dependent on someone else. But yeah, I am that way. I'm not really dependent on other people much. I can be very like hyper-focused on another person and be very interested in someone and kind of consume them and be very fascinated by someone. But I am not necessarily seeing myself with like a family life. I need a few years on my shoulder to be mature enough for that in that case. I don't know. It's kind of like a, I don't know. Yeah, I do not believe in any certain religion. I would, on paper, be Christian, technically, you know. And I have my beliefs, but I don't see myself, you know, tied to a certain religion. And honestly, I used to have more existential kind of problems and angst or whatever when I was like 20 or 21. But if I'm being honest, I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of like doesn't really care where we go. And I have my beliefs. I kind of believe in the idea that nothing is, some things in this life are meant to happen or whatever. I believe that there are no such thing as coincidences with certain moments, like bigger things in your life. So I can be kind of religious with that, like the timing of certain things in your life, the way some people show up at a certain time, or yeah, that to me makes me feel like there's something more. But as far as like a god, or I don't know, I'm kind of like an open mind, but I have my beliefs that there might be, but I just don't think that he's like super caring and watches us in this kind of way that Christians might believe. But I'm definitely not atheist or nihilistic or anything like that, but I have my like low-key beliefs, but I would not say that I'm religious, more so spiritual, but I don't know. I don't like electronic music. I don't really like the mainstream stuff on the radio, and I don't like rap music that much. Some maybe if it's really good, but it's not my thing, I would say. Like I prefer catch. I think that's the problem with today. It's kind of like not so many melodies. I kind of prefer like catchier pop songs. That's why I don't like sad kind of like indie music too, because I prefer kind of like a catchy, fun melody and a ballad with a lot of fun intensity. That's why I love country and rock and pop. That's when it's really good, because it's like, it's intense and it's catchy and has a fun chorus and a verse that's, you know, makes you very excited. And I think some of that kind of music to me is very neither here nor there. And I like a few things on the radio, but I think the best music we had was in the past. And in a way, I feel like everything was kind of better at a time that I did not live or whatever. And I can feel for sure that I was like born, but I'm tired of thinking like that. I kind of just like to accept where I am. But I like to believe that I was kind of born in the wrong generation. I think maybe like 80s, 90s, if I would have been like 10 or 20 years older than I am now or something, I don't know. Maybe would have been a different thing for me. Like young at a time where young at the same time when my mom was young or something like that. But in a way, I kind of like the digital age too, because it's like you can connect to people from all around the world, and that's amazing and beautiful. And another part of me also feels as if I was born in the wrong country, because I should have been born where the home of country music is. But in a way, I'm very happy with where I live, and I think I live in a beautiful country, and we live in a chaotic, crazy time, but I think there are a lot of good things about our time too. I think the digital age allows us to connect in a way we couldn't do before, and maybe that's stuff people have talked about a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore, because it's not obvious. Sometimes you need to remind yourself. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Number 16, I mean, I don't know why I put this here, but I don't have any like particular mental health struggles. I am happy, I think. I kind of, no matter what life throws at me, I am able to sort of handle it, and I'm kind of content with whatever. I don't need success or fame, or I don't crave to be popular or liked by tons of people in order to function or something like that. And I am overall happy. Like I'm not a sad girl. Like I'm not sad. Like I'm kind of like good. The only problems kind of for me is like what's going on with the world and the future of our society. That can really worry me sometimes. But other than that, just personally, I think I'm for the most part okay. But that does go into the few mental health things I've had problems with, and that has been my delayed puberty. And I don't know why I'm throwing it out there, but I think that's something people should know about me, because I had a delayed puberty, a little bit, not a lot, but like until 18, 19, I had some of I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just kind of mentioning that, yeah, like I was a late bloomer. And I'm still kind of a late bloomer, and that's why I'm kind of talking, since I am 25, I am kind of talking about like, you know, married life and certain kind of like bigger adulthood decisions I might not really be ready to make yet, because I've been a little bit of a late bloomer. And I feel more, in my case, like my adulthood brain started to form more when I was like 23, 24, and before that, I was still kind of going through kind of like a hormonal puberty phase, which I think counselors have confirmed that, yeah, that was what was happening, and that's why you were kind of a little bit sad and weird during 2015 and 16 and whatever. But other than that, I would say that I'm pretty content. But the only problems today is kind of just the world we're living in, what's going on, what's gonna happen with the future, don't know. But yeah, personally, I'm okay. Which is just so hard because like back then, like those years were chaotic too with the world as well. But now it's such a different situation. It's, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to go into what's happening. I think people are aware of what's going on. But since we're talking about mental health, I could say, songwriting is the best therapy for me, as well as poetry too. But I think songwriting and writing songs and really making sure you get what you want to say out there and making it kind of personal and particular, but also making sure you kind of convey a universal feeling. I think that's the best. Because usually, for me, sometimes when it's like a really personal song, I think Love Language Burnout was that, and maybe even Steeply Happily in Love, and a few of these recent songs I've been writing too, is that, it's like a personal thing and it sounds very personal to yourself because it's you. But I think that's I think it's super cool when people kind of pick up on it and you realize that it's a universal feeling, what you're trying to say. It may be in a way personal to you because you're throwing in details that resonates with you, but there's something about the song that someone else can listen and just kind of fill in their own details. I think that's the best songwriting, and that's why songwriting can be like therapy, when you're like, okay, I'm not the only one. Yeah, I talked about this before. I have a fairly healthy lifestyle, and I think I used to be vegan, vegetarian. I've tried that. I don't think it works perfectly in Sweden because just the fruit we get here in the winter might not be, it can be a little bit like empty calories, the apples we get here in the winter, and just like the fruits and the vegetables, it might not be like tropical qualities necessarily. So flexitarian is what works the best for me. I think just for environmental reasons, I don't like eating chicken and too much fish. And I don't eat any red meat at all. But I will occasionally eat fish, like I love salmon, for instance. But just for environmental reasons, I guess, and because of just health reasons and taste as well. And animals, of course. No last. Flexitarian is what works, and it's what works up here because of just the cold climate, I guess. And I think, yeah, the less meat we can eat, the better, I guess. Bands and music I don't like. Clearly now I'm a little bit uninspired and I don't know what to come up with, but I'm just gonna go through these last ones and talk a little bit around them. Maybe they don't make sense, I don't know. But bands and music I do not like. Lana Del Rey, Hozier, Radiohead, and Lady Gaga. I'm sorry if you guys like those musicians. Lana Del Rey, Hozier, Radiohead, and Lady Gaga, I'm not a fan. Basically, that's just what I'm saying. I don't know why I wrote that. That's just so random from like going from what I just talked about to that. But yeah, we're not. As I said, I don't like rap music either, so I'm sorry if you like that. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Also, another very random fact. I do not celebrate holidays much unless someone takes me out, unless someone like brings me to a Halloween party or something. And I think that has just been with the last few years, and I might not be alone in it either, but just like I don't really celebrate my own birthday. Very low-key with my parents. It's kind of very low-key Christmas and birthday celebrations, and like I've never been to weddings, for instance. I don't think I even care about weddings. That's kind of why I'm very scared of my future romantic partner. Does that person want to have a big, giant wedding that I don't want to have? My parents had a little hippie wedding in my grandma's apartment, my mom wore this like flowery dress, and yeah, it was just so low-key. And I'm kind of the same, like with holidays and with birthdays. I so like low-key things. I don't like extravagant parties. Stresses me out in a way. I don't know. I think it's more, especially if you care about the person, I kind of like the idea for a wedding to be more you, me, maybe you, me, and our favorite people somewhere nice or something like that. I do not like extravaganza, which is too much extravaganza. I'm not a good hostess. I'm not a leadership person. I'm not one where I invite people to dinner parties. I'd rather go to dinner parties, but seldom, not too often, you know. But not a party person, definitely not. I'm a homebody for sure. I like to be home. Yeah. Next instrument I would love to learn would be steel guitar, slide guitar, steel guitar, I guess. I always since 2017 I'm like, next to guitar and banjo and mandolin, ukulele. Yeah, I play the ukulele too sometimes. It would be cool to learn the steel guitar, because I think it's a really cool instrument. Is it? Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and the last fact, it says 25, but it might be just 23. I don't know. I think I threw them all together just to make this video a little bit shorter. But I have worked several jobs after high school. I waitressed, I worked in preschool, I worked in elderly care, but I've studied, I majored in literature. 2019 I started university. Yeah, I took a few gap years. I majored in literature, but also, I studied English, Swedish, and a bunch of other subjects within that. But currently I don't work because I study. And in the fall, I'm gonna go and get my master's degree because I figured out what job I want. So that's the last one, and I may have said that before on this channel, but that's that. I hope everything just worked and I got everything across that I wanted to get across. And I don't really have much else to say. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna make more vlogs. I think I'm gonna make a March favorites. I got a few requests for other vlogs I can make, and songs. After this I'm making songs again for sure. And yeah, monthly favorites, favorite books, story time around certain, not story time, I'm not making story times, that's no way. But I'm gonna make, I will make, as I said, monthly favorites, and what was something else I was trying to say. Monthly favorites, yeah, kind of like what this song is about and what it means to me. Certain songs that I write, I guess I can talk about behind this song, you know. Why not? I think that's a fun concept to do. But other than that, that was pretty much it. I'm not gonna vlog in a bit. I'm gonna go back, and I have a few collabs. I have like 3-4 people that I'm promised that I'm gonna sing with, and I'm definitely gonna go ahead and do that. I'm so excited. And yeah, next video will be a cover. I think it will be an original song. I hope you guys will like that, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this video, and bye!